gmna uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good evening, I'm Renata Solano. Tonight we'll hear how a rescued mountain lion cub is healing after surgery, the EPA's new cleanup in Southgate, and a heat safety plan rolling out for our students. Plus, a historic theater opens its doors after a $40 million makeover. Bennett, what do you make of that?
The Los Angeles Theater, a century-old landmark on Broadway, reopens today after a $40 million renovation, restoring its original marble facade and hand-painted murals.
Seating capacity returns to 4,300, with upgraded acoustics and wheelchair-accessible aisles, meeting modern safety codes while preserving historic details.
The reopening celebration includes a free orchestral performance, guided tour, and a ribbon-cutting ceremony featuring local historian Maria Gomez and Broadway's original neon signage illuminated.
Lots to get to, let's begin. The theater doors open tonight, and the city's cultural heartbeat resumes in historic splendor. Here are our top stories. A 3-week-old mountain lion cub rescued from the Santa Monica Mountains underwent a leg amputation and is now recovering under wildlife officials' care. Camila Uriola has the full story.
Rescued 3-week-old mountain lion cub in the Santa Monica Mountains has undergone a leg amputation and is now under observation as it heals. Wildlife officials found the tiny predator alone after its mother abandoned it, prompting a rapid response that brought the cub to a rehabilitation center. Surgeons removed the damaged limb to stop infection, and veterinarians are monitoring the cub's weight, appetite, and mobility. The animal is receiving supplemental feeding and physical therapy to adapt to its new condition. Officials note such rescues are uncommon and part of broader wildlife rehabilitation programs. Veterinarians report the cub is gaining weight and moving cautiously on its remaining limbs. Camila Uriola, GMNA News, Santa Monica.
EPA officials broke ground today on a remediation project at the Southgate Superfund site, marking the start of an effort to clean contaminated soil and groundwater. The federal agency will deploy a multi-phase plan that includes excavation, treatment, and long-term monitoring to address pollutants left from decades of industrial activity. The site, one of 3 long-standing toxic industrial Superfund locations in southeast Los Angeles, has sat vacant for years, raising health concerns for nearby residents. EPA leaders said the work will proceed under strict federal standards and is expected to span several years, though immediate actions focus on stabilizing the most hazardous zones. Community groups have been briefed on safety protocols, and the agency pledged regular updates as the cleanup moves forward. The long-term aim is to return the parcel to conditions that allow safe redevelopment.
City officials are moving to curb the sale of phenibut, a psychoactive compound that has no medical approval and is increasingly found on shelves at gas stations and convenience stores across Los Angeles. A council member introduced a proposal that would require retailers to verify age, limit quantities, and post clear warnings about the substance's risks. The measure comes after concerns that the unregulated product is easy for children to obtain. If adopted, the regulations would give the Department of Consumer and Business Affairs authority to enforce compliance and impose penalties on violations. Supporters say the steps are needed to protect vulnerable residents while keeping lawful adults from losing access to a legal, albeit unapproved, supplement. The council is set to debate the bill at its next meeting later this week.
Investigators are probing the theft of a costly military memorial statue from Paramount City Hall's Armed Forces Memorial late Tuesday night. Police have not identified suspects. Camila Uriola has the full story.
Investigators are on the scene at Paramount City Hall after a valuable bronze statue vanished from the Armed Forces Memorial late Tuesday night. The monument, which honored local veterans, was discovered missing during a routine patrol of the memorial courtyard. Police say the theft appears to be a professional heist, noting the statue's weight and intricate design would require equipment to move. Witnesses reported seeing two individuals in dark jackets near the pedestal just before the break. The city has launched a full-scale investigation, reviewing surveillance footage and canvassing nearby businesses for any leads. Officials stress the loss hits the community deeply, given the memorial's significance to families of service members. Camilla Uriola, GMNA News, Paramount.
Students at Bishop Alemany High School in Mission Hills are now under a new heat safety plan as the San Fernando Valley endures unusually high temperatures. Administrators said the program rolled out today includes shaded rest stations, additional water breaks between classes, and adjusted outdoor activity schedules to avoid the hottest part of the day. Teachers will receive hourly temperature updates from the district, and a mobile app will alert staff when heat indexes cross critical levels. The school is also coordinating with local health officials to provide on-site cooling fans and to train staff on recognizing signs of heat-related illness. Parents have been notified of the changes through email and the school's website. Officials emphasize that the measures aim to keep students safe while classes continue, and the plan will remain in effect as long as extreme heat persists. Coming up, wildfire survivors rally in Sacramento to block utility liability limits, and we'll check tonight's heat advisory. We will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. Wildfire survivors are converging on Sacramento today to press state lawmakers to reject a bill that would cap utility liability for catastrophic fires. The group, many of whom lost homes and loved ones in recent blazes, plans a rally outside the Capitol, demanding that private utilities remain fully accountable when investigations find them at fault. Lawmakers are reviewing legislation that would limit the amount utilities must pay in damages, a move supporters say would protect ratepayers, but critics argue shields corporations from responsibility. Organizers say the proposal threatens victims still rebuilding and could set a precedent for future disasters. The demonstration is scheduled to begin mid-morning, with speakers expected to include survivors, consumer advocacy leaders, and several state senators. The outcome could shape how California handles financial responsibility for the next major wildfire.
Riverside County officials have ordered evacuations as a wildfire ignites in Paris, prompting warnings for residents across the city. Wesley Tran has the full story.
Flames ignited early this morning in the incorporated area of Paris, sending thick orange smoke curling over the neighborhood. Riverside County officials quickly declared a wildfire emergency, issuing evacuation orders for several streets and urging residents to seek shelter away from the advancing fire line. Authorities have set up temporary shelters at the local high school and are dispatching additional air tankers to contain the blaze. Power crews are cutting electricity to reduce risk, while firefighters work from the ground to protect homes along the south side of the canyon. Residents are told to stay tuned to emergency alerts and avoid all travel on the main highway until the situation stabilizes. Wesley Tran, GMNA News, Paris.
Earlier today, Huntington Park officials pressed Southern California Edison to delay 3 scheduled power outages after a citywide blackout struck residents amid an extreme heat wave. City leaders said the sudden loss of electricity on a sweltering Tuesday raised immediate safety concerns, especially for vulnerable households relying on air conditioning. Thousands of homes reported being without cooling for several hours, prompting complaints and a promise from Edison to review alternative timing. The utility had planned the interruptions for routine maintenance, but officials argued that cutting power during record temperatures could endanger health and exacerbate heat-related illnesses. Huntington Park's mayor urged the company to prioritize public safety while the city works with Edison to reschedule the work for cooler conditions. The request comes as the region grapples with soaring temperatures and heightened risk of heat stroke across the Southland.
Orange County officials say the heat advisory in effect today has drawn crowds to the shoreline, with dozens of beachgoers spreading along Newport, Huntington, and Laguna beaches this afternoon. Temperatures hovering in the high 90s have prompted the county to step up marine monitoring, keeping a close eye on currents and rip current conditions as more people wade and surf. Lifeguard stations report increased activity, and the department urges swimmers to stay within posted zones and heed any flag changes. The advisory issued by the County Health Office remains in force through tonight, and officials will continue to assess water safety while the sun holds sway over the coast. Visitors are enjoying the relief the ocean offers from the sweltering inland heat, even as authorities maintain heightened vigilance. Local merchants along the boardwalk report brisk business as families seek shade and refreshments.
Southern California Edison is reviewing public safety power shutoffs for roughly 4,000 customers in Los Angeles County as extreme heat and strong winds raise wildfire risk. Camila Arriola has the full story.
Power crews are gathering along the canyon-lined streets of Los Angeles as Southern California Edison weighs a public safety power shutoff for almost 4,000 households. Officials say the move is under review because a surge of scorching temperatures and gusting winds could strain overhead lines, creating conditions ripe for rapid-spreading wildfires. Residents in the affected zones have been warned that a brief loss of electricity may be necessary to keep the hills from igniting. Utility engineers are monitoring real-time weather data, waiting for the next forecast update before making a final decision. The community watches anxiously, aware that a single spark in this dry heat can turn into a fast-moving blaze. Camila Arriola, GMNA News, Los Angeles.
Let's get a look at your evening forecast with our meteorologist now.
A southerly jet stream pushes warm, stable air over the basin, locking in another scorching August night. On this date, Los Angeles once baked to a record high of 91 degrees in 2021, a spike that arrived amid an extended heat dome stretching from the desert eastward. The coldest temperature ever recorded here fell to 52 degrees in 2017, a surprise dip that followed a rare marine layer plunge. Normal highs hover around 87 and lows near 64, so today's 93-degree peak sits a few degrees above average, while tonight's low of 70 remains well above the historic minimum. Zooming into the live radar, the basin shows a clean echo field, no rain bands, no stray echoes. The western desert plume that usually drifts northward is absent, confirming the high-pressure column that's suppressing lift. With the southwest flowing jet aloft steering any moisture east, the next few hours will remain dry over the city, and the clear pattern should persist until after midnight when the ridge finally relaxes. At 6 p.m., the city basks under a clear sky with the temperature holding at 90 degrees and humidity around 45%. A gentle west wind at 7 miles per hour whispers across the basin, while the dew point stays near 64, keeping the air dry. Pressure is near average and nudging upward, sealing in subsidence that wipes out clouds. The southwest jet at 39 miles per hour rides high, reinforcing the ridge and blocking moisture. Tonight's temperature will dip to 81 by 7 p.m., then slide towards 70 by sunrise as radiative cooling sets in. With no radar echoes and a stable air mass, the night stays cloudless and calm. UV index 9 and no weather alerts. This tranquil backdrop leads into the 5-day outlook. Looking ahead, Wednesday will climb to a high of 97 with a low of 70, all under clear skies as the ridge remains anchored. Thursday brings an overcast veil and a high of 102, the first cloud cover of the stretch, while the low holds at 72. Friday intensifies further, reaching a scorching high of 106 and a low of 79, with thick clouds hinting at a lingering marine layer. Saturday eases back to a clear high of 100 and a low of 73, offering a brief respite before the weekend. Sunday rounds out the period with a high of 93 and a low of 66, clear skies returning as the ridge finally retreats. The pattern showcases a classic late summer heat surge punctuated by a mid-week cloud dip, keeping temperatures well above seasonal normals. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunset is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
Later we'll break down today's traffic snarls, preview the century-old theater's grand reopening, and dive into the Lakers mailbag. We will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
The biggest story tonight is that the freeways are moving. 405, I-10, I-5 and US 101 are all clear, with traffic flowing at normal speed. Santa Monica Boulevard, Hollywood Boulevard and Sepulveda Avenue are also running smoothly, no backups reported. Looking ahead to this evening, expect the usual post-work surge to start building around 7 p.m. On the 405 near Westwood and the 10 through downtown. The 5 southbound will likely see a slight slowdown near the Harbor Freeway interchange. Drivers heading east on the 110 should anticipate a modest queue near the downtown tunnel after 8 p.m. If you're heading to the Stadium District, surface streets on Pico and Figueroa will stay light for now, but a short wait may develop as the crowd filters out. For those traveling west toward the beach, the 101 will stay open, though a brief pause is possible near the Santa Monica exit as the evening crowd peaks. Overall, today's roads are clear, but keep an eye on the main corridors as the rush builds this hour.
Los Angeles, get ready for KCON 2026, the world's biggest K-pop festival landing in the city next week. It will turn downtown into a non-stop celebration of music, fashion, and culture, and you won't want to miss the surprise collaborations that usually steal the show. Today, the historic Los Angeles Theater on Broadway throws open its doors after a $40 million renovation, restoring a century-old landmark that has hosted generations of film lovers. It's a chance to step inside a piece of LA history and catch a first-run screening in a space that finally matches the city's cinematic ambition. And spinning around town now, California's largest record fair has set up shop in the city, featuring the biggest vinyl lineup ever and an all-vinyl DJ roster that will keep collectors and crate diggers on their feet. It's the perfect excuse to hunt for hidden gems and hear rare cuts live. And now here's Terrence with sports.
Los Angeles sports buzzes with ownership drama, roster moves, and health updates. The Lakers are poised for a historic change as owner Mark Walter agrees to sell the franchise to venture capitalist Joshua Kushner and former Disney chief Bob Iger for a record $12.5 billion. This ownership shift could reshape front office strategy and influence player acquisition philosophy heading into next season. True Blue LA launches a season-long ledger cataloging every Dodgers transaction from spring training through the postseason. Fans now have a single reference to track trades, signings, and roster tweaks, giving clearer insight into how general manager Brandon Gomes builds depth as the club chases another championship. A new Dodgers injured list tracker compiles every stint on the IL, paternity, bereavement, and family medical lists for the 2026 campaign. By centralizing health data, fans can gauge the impact of absences on the rotation and bullpen and anticipate roster adjustments as the stretch run approaches. The minor league option tracker logs each Dodgers player sent to the farm system during 2026, linking moves to the 40-man roster. Monitoring these options reveals how the club manages depth, tests prospects, and shuffles arms, crucial for maintaining competitiveness through the long Pacific Coast schedule. Tyler Glasnow returns to the Dodgers rotation, marking the staff's near full strength after a summer of high-profile signings. His presence adds a veteran right-hander to a rotation already featuring Ohtani and Yamamoto, giving Los Angeles a deeper arsenal as they eye the postseason. With Glasnow activated, the Dodgers cleared a roster spot by optioning right-hander Paul Gervais to Triple-A. The move underscores the club's depth, pushing Gervais to refine his pitches in the minors while keeping the major league rotation robust for the upcoming Braves series. Stay tuned, Los Angeles. The season's story is just beginning.
Thanks, Terrence. Cheez-It Court, tucked inside Westfield Topanga Mall in Canoga Park, is opening its doors for a month-long pop-up that turns the mall's classic food staples into snack-inspired bites. Beginning September 3rd, the temporary court will serve everything from pizza slices sprinkled with crushed Cheez-It to pretzel-coated chicken tenders, all with that unmistakable cheese crack flavor. The concept grew out of a local bakery's love for the iconic cracker, and the partnership with the mall gives shoppers a playful reason to linger. For a neighborhood that thrives on inventive street food, Cheez-It Court adds a fresh, family-friendly option that feels like a taste of home for longtime residents and a curiosity for newcomers. It's a reminder that a simple snack can bring people together. Up next, the LA County Fire Department is adding personnel to meet the challenges of the upcoming heat wave. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. Los Angeles County Fire Department is increasing personnel and pre-positioning equipment ahead of an anticipated week of extreme heat, aiming to accelerate wildfire response across the county. Julian Mercado has the full story.
Fire officials are adding dozens of crews and positioning trucks and equipment at strategic points across the county, as the forecast calls for a week of dangerously high temperatures. The Los Angeles County Fire Department says the surge in staffing will let crews reach any ignition within minutes, cutting response times that can mean the difference between a small blaze and a fast-moving fire. Units are being pre-staged near known high-risk areas, including the foothills and urban wildland interfaces, with extra water tenders and air suppression assets ready to roll out. The move comes after a pattern of rapid fire spread during past heat spikes, prompting officials to tighten their readiness posture. Julian Mercado, GMNA News, Los Angeles.
Los Angeles County health officials have issued an advisory urging residents to avoid swimming, surfing, or water play at 7 local beaches after recent tests revealed bacteria levels exceeding state standards. Camila Arriola has the full story.
Officials with the Los Angeles County Department of Public Health have issued a beach advisory warning residents to steer clear of swimming, surfing, or any water play at 7 county beaches. Recent water testing revealed bacteria levels that exceed state health standards, a situation the department says is linked to a week of unusually high temperatures that can boost bacterial growth in coastal waters. The advisory, released Tuesday, urges the public to stay out of the water until further notice and to follow any posted signage at the affected sites. Health officials will continue monitoring the conditions and update the public as results come in. Camila Arriola, GMNA News, Santa Monica.
Dolly Rebecca Parton, 80, died on August 25, 2026. The singer-songwriter rose from beginnings to become a country music icon, first stepping onto the stage with her debut album Hello, I'm Dolly and a partnership with Porter Wagoner. She gave the world hits Jolene, Coat of Many Colors, I Will Always Love You, and 9 to 5, and brought that spark to big screen in films such as 9 to 5, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, and Rhinestone. Beyond the charts, she built Dollywood and the Dollywood Foundation, supporting education and the arts, and earned 11 Grammy Awards before her induction into the Country Music Hall of Fame. Her songs and generosity continue to inspire new generations of artists and fans alike. We remember her music as a lasting gift. Thank you, Los Angeles, for joining us tonight. It was inspiring to see the rescued SoCal mountain lion cub taking its first steps after surgery. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories that matter to our community. Until then, stay safe and keep looking toward the sunset. I'm Renata Solano.